Welcome to my MLB Master Betting class. I'm your host, Scotty Zabriskie. Today we're going to discuss the 90s under system. It's going to be a clean, repeatable process using Outlier.bet, Stathead.com, and Statmuse. And these are just going to be simple steps, clear rules. And when we follow the process, we get 90% hit rate, sometimes up to 95%. If we don't get it, then we don't bet. The goal is to try to stack a parlay together of about 5, 6, 7 players, usually on a 30-team, 15-game slate to try to get to plus money. Even if we can drive it all the way to minus 100 odds, this is a great opportunity. It's about 1.8 odds, depending upon how you stack your bets together. And this has been an amazing strategy for me to generate tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars in profit over the last few months, and I'm here to try to teach it to you. Now, Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at Outlier.bet and we're going to look at the Versus Finder, right? So both of these are paid tools, but they're basically going to allow us to look and find the trend line that we're looking for, right? So I've already gone through this to speed up the process, but the first thing you do is you want to make sure that you have the implied probability or the odds where you want to get to, right? So here I have it at 94%, which is like right around like minus 800, minus 900 odds. But yeah, I usually put it at 92%. For this example, I'll start at 94%, right? So we click here, and then we're going to organize it according to the last 20 games, right? Because what we want is to make sure that they haven't gotten a home run, a stolen base, or a double in the last 20 games, right? So first we have Davis Schneider, and we put him into Versus Finder, Tommy Edman, Trent Grisham, right? So we're going to basically go here, and we're going to do Grisham, right? So we see here he's 0 for 3, right? So the correlation we're looking for is we're looking for a double correlation, right? So we're looking to make sure that in the last 20 games he hasn't gotten a stolen base, a home run, or a double, and that also he has a really strong matchup against the pitcher, so that he's 0 for 3. So we see here that's the case, right? So we're going to look here, and we're going to click Trent Grisham, and we're going to see that he's had 3 at-bats. He's 0 for 2 with a walk, right? So that's great for us, right? So Trent Grisham's going to be the first one on our list, right? And this bet has gotten me about 95% of the time, right? So when you do this properly, you're going to find that your chances of getting a hit are going to be extremely high. And the goal is to try to get to plus money, right? So sometimes you can't get plus money, but we definitely try to drive it as low as minus 100 odds, and that's generally our best bet, right? So the first one we have is Trent Grisham. Second, we have Joey Ortiz, right? So we type in here Ortiz. We're going to see here another one, 0 for 4, right? So now we have 2, right? So now we have Trent Grisham, Joey Ortiz. Now next we have Roddy Tellez, right? So we type in here Tellez. And of course, when you do this on your own, it's going to take a bit longer, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to just try to speed up the process. And of course, you can sign up for my consulting course, and you'll get access to me through my Patreon account, which I'll link at the end, and I'll help you go through this, and I'll coach you and serve as a consultant for you to make sure that you get this perfectly, right? So now we have Roddy Tellez, 0 for 3, so now we're doing great. So we have Trent Grisham, minus 564, Roddy Tellez, minus 750, Joey Ortiz, minus 640, right? So we're going to start stacking these, and we're going to build a really interesting parlay that's going to approach plus money depending on the game. Now, this slate generally works best when there's 15 games and 30 teams playing. But if it's a shorter slate, then you'll just get a lower odds with the betting platform, but you'll still be able to get really, really good odds. You can maybe get minus 500, minus 400, but the goal is to try to get to plus money. I've gotten to plus 200 before on the best case scenario. But some of these are in the same game. So when you have same game parlays, you have to add other same game parlays. Sometimes you can do same game, 1 or 2, and then just put 1 depending on the platform you use. But the goal is to try to get to plus money, and then it hits about 95% of the time. Great. So far we have Trent Grisham, Joey Ortiz, Roddy Tellez, right? Go down the list. We have Xavier Edwards. So he's on the next page. So this is a really good slate. You have about 234 players, I believe, in this slate. Yeah, you have 237. So we go here now and we do Edwards. Boom, 0 for 4. Great. So now we have Grisham, Ortiz, Tellez, Edwards, all under doubles, right? So now we're going to go into homers. Next on the list, we're going to get Michael Harris. So we'll do Harris. He's 0 for 4. So we're stacking, right? Minus 800. Yeah, so we're really stacking this really, really good. Now we go McKinstry. He's 0 for 11, so this is amazing, right? So we're stacking him. Rafaela. Right, he's going to be on the previous page. So we do here Rafaela. He's going to be 0 for 2. So 0 for 2 is a bit more on the higher risk side. So if you are like already at plus money and you have the 0 for 2s, maybe you don't want to leave them in, but for the sake of this, we'll continue. We have Kim, just to try to show you how this is a really, really amazing bet strategy. We have Kim. He just went to the Braves. He's 0 for 2. Then we have, that's it, right? So let's see who we have here. We have Kim. We have Rafaela. We have McKinstry. We have Harris. We have Edwards. We have Tellez, Ortiz, Grisham. So this is amazing. We have about 7 players. And when you drive that down, we're going to get to about minus 100 odds, right? So once you parlay that together, you're going to get about a 90-95% chance of winning. And then you're going to be in really, really great position. Teach it to you. Now, this isn't guesswork, right? We just try to hunt for under spots that have been consistent for weeks, and we check the pitcher matchup, and then we run a quick sanity check, right? So when all 3 agree, then we know this is great, right? So we basically run the BVP matchup through Stathead.com. We run the sanity check through Statmuse.com, and then we use Outlier.bet to try to get the trends, right? So after this, you're going to be able to get a short list on the under props and Outlier, filter them with BVP on Stathead, and then you get the sanity check with Statmuse, right? So after you do that, you'll be able to build a really disciplined card, and then you'll avoid common mistakes, right? So we'll use 3 tabs, right? The first tab is Outlier for trends, Stathead for matchup history, and Statmuse for a quick read to try to get the form and the context, right? So the first step is Outlier, right? So on Outlier, we're going to look at all the markets and click the unders, right? So we're going to do double 0.5 under, home run 0.5 under, and stolen bases 0.5 under, right? And then we're going to filter for players with 0 doubles, 0 home runs, or 0 stolen bases in their last 20 games, and that's all you're going to do, right? So you're collecting the cold trends, right? These are guys who haven't done the thing the book is still pricing, right? So usually we pull between 3 to 10 names at most, depending on the slate, right? So let's say 5 days a week, we have about 15 games going. One day, let's say we have 10 games, and then 1 game a week, they usually have 4 or 5. But this is a surefire strategy to get 90 to 95%, right? So we only pick players that have a matchup that is 0 for 3, 0 for 5, 0 for 10. And when we stack those together, we get a really amazing parlay that will get us close to plus money numbers. We can basically double our money on a 90-95% share, right? So I'm going to drop my patreon.com at the end of this, and you can join and get access to my consulting, where I'll do a weekly call. You'll have access to me through email, through Discord, and I'll be able to help guide you or even give you my picks. If that's what you choose, it's up to you. Every day I drop my picks for people who get the VIP package, and then people who get the below package, the mid package. I just do consulting for them. So really up to them. So basically, when we go through Stathead, we're going to type in the batter in today's pitcher, like I'll do a full expose of that after. Then you're going to have one question, right? Does this hitter usually struggle against the pitcher, right? So what counts as a struggle, right? He has few hits, weak contact, nothing explosive, right? So there's no pattern of extra base damage against the pitcher, right? So that's why Statmuse is good, right? Because it could be that he hasn't gotten a double or hasn't gotten a homer, but he's gotten a triple. Could be that his exit velocity is very high, right? So you can also use Baseball Savant, right? So there's all these different strategies to do to try to get a surefire way to know that this player is going to get a hit, right? So, right. Next we do Statmuse, right? So this is the sanity check, right? So once we've already gone through Outlier.bet, we've established the trend. We see over the last 20 games, he hasn't gotten a double, a home run, or a stolen base, right? So he's not a new player. This is a player who's been in the lineup. He's been 1 through 9. Usually he's going to be, 7, 8, 9. And especially if he's up against a pitcher that he hasn't had a good matchup against, he's generally going to be there. But he's in the lineup, right? Yeah, so if he's in the second slot or the third slot or the fourth slot, even though he's over 3 and he's under doubles, right, there might be a question as to when he's going to do that, right? And also the odds are going to suggest that, right? So it usually ratchets from about minus 800 down to minus 300, minus 400, right? But if he starts pushing minus 300, minus 200, and he's, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slot, then maybe there's something we don't know. And that's why there's that, let's say that 5%, 7% miss rate, but we have about a 95% hit rate across the board, right? So this is basically our green light checklist, right? So we play a leg, Outlier shows a clean 20-game cold trend for the under, Stathead's BVP does not help the hitter, and Statmuse shows no obvious reason to fade the under, right? And if anyone fails, just pass, no FOMO, right? So we're just trying to get surefire plays here, right? So if we see a data point that, suggests maybe we shouldn't be executing on it, we just pass, right? We're just trying to get our numbers to hit day over day, week over week, month over month, so we can stack our cash, right? So we're usually going to choose 3 to 6 legs, all unders from double home runs and steals. And if anything gives us doubt, we cut it, right? We keep it boring. Boring is good, right? This isn't exciting. I have other videos that hit about 80-85% over hits over strikeouts. That's really, really good, but this is a 90% plus strategy that we really want to make sure about, right? So we just set one small stake per card. We don't chase it. We cap how many cards you run in a day, and if the slate is messy, don't bet, right? Passing is a win, right? No FOMO. Passing is a win, right? So we want to log our final legs. The reason for that, we do outlier trends, Stathead matchup, Statmuse check. Outlier trends, Stathead matchup, Statmuse check, right? We want to make sure. If you want to add Baseball Savant to try to check exit velocity, check his hard-hittedness against them, that's cool. There's other kind of ways to do that. That's kind of where we can link through my Patreon, and I can help you with that, right? Some common mistakes to avoid, right? There's a few easy traps. Don't force a play because the odd looks good, right? It just looks cute. It's like, this is a good play. No, don't play that. Ignore news and context you just found on Statmuse, right? So if you see stuff and it's like this and that, no. Stick to the data. This is data analysis, right? It's amazing if you know about the player. You want to run a hero card. Okay, that's cool. This is not that. We're doing the unders, right? This is not the overs. This is the unders, right? We stack the minus 700s, minus 600s, minus 500s, minus 500s. We get 7 to 10. Boom. We get plus money. Cha-ching. We ring the register, right? So that's basically what we want to do, right? This is the 90% under system. Outlier for the trend, Stathead for the matchup, Statmuse for the sanity check, right? If all three agree, I play it. If not, I pass, right? If this helped you, please ask your questions in the comment. Make sure to sign up for my Patreon. And that'll be it. Until the next video. Peace.